So when are we going to get some Rice Krispie treats?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Have you ever had my Rice Krispie treats?
I have not. All I know is I've heard about how good they are.
I'm on a new program.
Right?
I'm pro. You don't see all this gunnage that's coming out now? You don't see the gunnage?
Well, the NRA called the other day and wanted to know if you were busy.
Huh?
Wanted to know if you were
got a
busy
license
for
these
show.
guns?
Yeah. You got your concealed carry?
Yeah, so you can't can't get the gunnage
with Cory Mosley.
Can't get the gunnage if you have Rice Krispie treats.
Well,
so,
on the regular.
You might have to wait on that.
All right. Well, maybe that's
cheat day.
Maybe that's our 80th episode.
We'll celebrate 80th?
Yeah.
You're trying to, because we're closing in?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. I'm closing the gap. We got to,
that's
10, 80, 90, 100, right? Yeah.
Listen, we should have Sis take a run at some rice. I bet you she can make some good ones. No, she's good with the pastry. I've adopted her. She's my sister, too, now.
Well, we're all family, right? We're all family.
Oh, the sound of that music, albeit very faint. I don't know what. Every time I think we, we're on cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's something. I think maybe we got too much. Maybe we got too much going on. Maybe Willie H he's got too many configurations we got him doing.
Well,
during the week he's got to reconfigure the. I thought it's like a creative space.
It is a multi-purpose creative space.
There's a lot we try to get done here.
Well, and you do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, he's got to have the protocols, though. Like, okay, great. When we're doing the podcast, then like the protocols.
It's like the pilot checklist.
Willie
right?
H is like the waiter that comes over to take the order, and you've got like 8 people at your table, and they all have some different things some nuances.
Right.
And he's got no notepad.
One person's got no onions.
It's like, oh yeah, I want the salad, but I want to take this off. And they're like, do you think you should write this down? Oh no, I got it. I'm good with that. And then that SHIT comes out. There's tomatoes on stuff that wasn't supposed to have tomatoes. There's garlic aioli on stuff that didn't even get aioli on it. Like they moved the aioli from the one person to the other person. And then you're like, man, I told you to write this down. And that's how it is. But needless to say, as long as the light is red, that means we're recording. So that is good news.
Indeed.
Good news for all involved. We welcome you here. This is, if you weren't sure where you were, I want to get clear about it. If you've made the crazy decision to keep coming back, we'd love to have you here. And
Indeed.
This is the Grow Business Podcast. I'm your host, Cory Mosley, joined by co-captain extraordinaire, senior officer, chief first mate, chief of the boat. I'm trying to associate all the various co-pilot. If you were in an airplane, if you're an airline pilot, and then if we were in the submarine, I want to cover all my bases. LG 007 Lon Graham is in the building.
Voice of reason.
Good to be here.
And as we've alluded to, because I think he wants to make sure we talk about him every episode in some form or capacity. So I think almost the fix is in. It's almost like the kid that just does bad stuff to get attention.
Okay.
Not because they want to be bad, but they just love the attention.
Right.
I think there's a little element to that. And who am I talking about? None other than Willie H is here.
Hit the buttons, William.
So we've got another great show for you today. If this is your first time joining us, this is the Grow Business Podcast, where we focus on, as you might have guessed it, trying to help you grow your business. We're not here to be your gurus or your shamans, but we do want to share some ideas that we think in our particular blend of entertainment and information that will help you do that. So you come to the right place. If you're a business owner looking to grow your business, you are definitely in the right place. We do this based on a couple guardrails, some rules that we have here.
Right.
We base most of our strategies on what I have created called the 5 pillars of business growth, which are mindset, sales, marketing, operations, and people. We cover that. I cover that in greater detail in my latest book, Position for Growth, which is available on Amazon.com. We are, you can't see this shot of our studio, but LG, you can attest to it. That setup over there is because I am recording the audio. We're getting the audible done.
All right.
So we're blazing through that. over there. That's what's taking place.
So true behind the scenes
We actually
activity.
knocked the chapter out this morning just before you got here for the show.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So Audible coming soon. We'll have that out by summer.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Let me get my commitment straight. The official day of summer is when? June 21st?
Technically, if you have it out by Labor Day,
yeah,
it's during the summer.
Okay.
We'll give you some grace on the
Labor Day, that's September.
Right.
We need to.
Well, you can do it before that, but if you
Daddy need the money now. We need we need that Audible money now. We don't.
Well, if you're looking to hedge some grace,
no, definitely is going to be done. Okay. I just wanted to confirm June 21st. So yeah, I mean we're in April. So
we'll give you to July 4th. How about that?
I'm not
Independence Day.
No, I'm not taking you up on that.
Okay.
No, I'm going to get it done before that. So
all right.
Summer.
We'll celebrate.
Summer, you
here.
will have it. Yeah.
Correct.
So in the meantime, I encourage you, don't wait till summer.
No.
Don't put off that 20, spending that 20.
Right.
Spend that 20 now.
Head
over to Amazon and make that move.
Well, it's hard to sign an audio book.
That is correct. Well, you got to order it from CoryMosley.com and I got to stop telling people that because our inventory, we've got an event coming up and I literally just had somebody counting what we have in stock because we're going to need it to go. So, Amazon.com, I'll deal with it.
Right.
We want to get it in your hands. So today, we're actually doing a little bit of a hybrid.
Okay.
Because the topic kind of, and we always say that many times the pillars obviously merge into other territory.
Definitely.
So we're going to do a twofer today.
Okay.
Because I think this topic merges very, very well. Do you want to take a shot?
Yeah. At
what two we're going? Let me tilt because you're a peeker. So
I can't even see it.
Well, that's a shame. We need Warby Parker as a sponsor. Let's get this man an eye exam. All right, you want to take a shot at the two we're going to cover today?
So we're going to do 2 of the 5.
Yeah.
And so I've got. Let's do mindset and people.
Okay, mindset and people. Okay, excellent. Yes, wrong. Whoa, I didn't know what that was.
My streak is continued.
Yeah, wrong. And actually, we need, Willie H., we need a wrong thing, like a wrong, and then you hit it twice for this one because he was wrong twice.
So
now, how of the only 5 options, you pick 2 that aren't even, no.
Okay, yeah. I didn't even get one of them?
Yeah, we're combining sales and marketing today.
Okay. So I didn't do sales because we did sales the last time. So
what does that mean?
It just means that was my logic. It didn't mean it was right. It just means that was my thought.
Did you have a good Easter?
I had a great Easter.
Okay.
Thank you. I saw my family.
Okay, good.
Saw my parents. It was good.
Oh, nice.
Yep. How about you?
Yeah, I want to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
coming off of the loss here just a second ago.
Coming off of pain.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, we had a very good time. We went to see some longtime friends and
nice.
Kids. They're kids now we've known since 2 of them we've known completely since they were born.
Oh wow.
So it was good to have all of them together, and then we had great catering from Mama's Meatballs.
Ooh.
And pizzeria.
Ooh.
But phenomenal. Shout out to my man Joe. We were waiting for him to show up, and because everybody was there, so the last person is Joe Argento, one of the co-owners of Mama's Meatballs with his lovely wife. And when he got there, because we were hungry, everybody was hungry. You know that feeling, when everyone's mulling around, trying to keep busy because we're waiting for the food.
Right.
And I just said to him, I've never missed a man more in my life than I missed you when he came in with the delicious meatballs and the chicken franchise and the spinach lasagna and the beef lasagna.
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell you, I would have ripped that out of some of the kids' hands.
Ooh.
I would have gone around looking for who had lasagna and just scooped it up off of their hands. But
good.
Delicious lasagna, these arancini balls. Delicious with the gravy. Gravy, of course, if you're true Italian, is the red sauce. But with these arancini bowls, delicious salad. I didn't get excited about the salad, but just fresh greens and candied walnuts that he candied himself that day at his restaurant. Yes.
All right.
I was so mad. I told my wife, why didn't we bring our own Tupperware? That was a mistake. We should have loaded up the car with the Tupperware so we could have But they killed it. I mean,
So-
the people killed everything that was there.
Here's a travel hack, and this is what I've learned as my
And
gift.
cannolis and tiramisu.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Tres leches.
Mm.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Here's the hack that I've learned as I've gotten further away from my family and they've gotten further away from me.
Mm.
When I'm driving, I travel with a cooler.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'll pack a lunch because I
Yeah.
can eat on the road.
Okay.
But if I go to my sister's,
Mhm.
we talk about my sister, and
Right.
there's
You're
always
prepared.
there's always more food to come back with.
Yeah.
So I have a cooler to
Right.
to survive that couple hour trip. Or when I was at my parents' this weekend, I came back with some.
That's a very waspy white thing that it makes sense for you to do.
Well, they like
have
to make sure.
Willie Hicks is looking at me like I'm crazy. That's just a great white guy prepared
Right.
thing to
Hold
do.
on, Buckaroo.
Bring the cooler. Got the cooler for the to
Right.
go. Yeah, very
Well, and they make sure that I have you're going to take food, so you might as well however that's going to look
Right.
like. So I might as well make it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, on the other hand, when I reference coolers, now my godfather, may he rest in peace, he brought a cooler too when he would come to visit my godfather was my grandparents'
Okay.
childhood friend. So he would bring a cooler.
Okay.
It just had Budweiser in it.
Beer in it. Right.
Yeah, he was a BYOB person.
There you go.
So he was, as a courtesy, right?
Right.
He wasn't coming to drink up your stuff,
Right.
but he wasn't letting you drink up his
There
stuff
you go.
either.
That's
So,
right.
so two people who brought coolers.
Right, exactly. Well, I've
Just
done,
two
I've done that too.
distinctive
Depends on the event.
differences. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Just depends on the event. So rest in peace, my dear Godfather Phelps.
Rest in peace.
Okay. So what we're going to be talking about here today, now that this is the serious portion
Okay.
of the podcast. Now it's time to get serious.
This is the content portion.
Yeah.
Serious
We gotta put that. If you watch on YouTube, we gotta put the markers there. Like the information starts at about the 12-minute mark here.
That's
It's
exactly-
pure foolishness for the first 11 minutes, but that's just to warm you up. So we're gonna be talking about today, LG. We're gonna be giving some tips and strategies and tactics
Good.
on how to introduce a new product or service to your customers.
Okay.
So right now, many business owners are looking for new revenue opportunities, new revenue from their business, whether with their core clientele,
Right.
or they're trying to find a new segment or go after a new segment
Right.
of customer.
Sure.
So I thought it'd be great to talk about that and have that conversation.
Yeah. Like it.
How's that sound?
Great.
Okay, so what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh. All right, we got 11 of these.
We got sales and marketing.
Strap in.
That's right.
Well, but you can see when we talk about introducing a new product or service, that is a sales function,
Correct.
but obviously marketing is an element to that. So I would
Right.
I would put sales in the primary position,
Yeah.
and then secondary would be marketing, because we'll talk about how to do that, right? Within our tips that we're going to share.
Yeah. And the way I think about sales and marketing is this: I think about marketing as bait and sales as engagement.
Sure.
That's how I think about
Mhm.
it when I'm, marketing is attracting,
Right.
and then sales is the engagement piece and how you convert.
Yeah. Well, we want to make it sound nice too. And like you wouldn't have a course on how to bait people,
No,
right?
no, but you're right. Unless you're going
Like come to
unless you're
my
going-
full day event on how to bait people.
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
What kind of bait do you need to use?
Yeah. I got thrown off a little bit. Willie H is crawling under the
I was
floor.
trying to buy you
Yeah,
some-
I'm making some adjustment or
Right,
something.
exactly.
I shouldn't have touched my microphone. Is that what I did? Oh, okay, my bad. He's like, you can use words in here. People know you exist. What did you say? Oh yeah, I was just saying, yeah, you wouldn't have a workshop,
Correct.
Come see LG 007 Sales Superstar teaching you how to bait people effectively for marketing.
That's exactly right.
But we get what you mean.
Right.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's get into number one.
Okay.
So number one is start with the problem,
Yep.
not the product.
Yes.
Right. So as you're exploring that idea, right, the key here now is we want to frame the launch of this product or service with the specific pain point it solves.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and that requires a mental shift, and that's a mental shift that took me a long time. And my on the speaking side of my business is I was telling you all the things I could do for you,
Right.
and that doesn't matter unless you recognize that that's a problem or a need for you.
Right.
And business owners, I think, struggle with that too. That's why it's nice to get somebody that can help you, that has the marketing experience
Mm-hmm.
and way to communicate. And that's why I call it bait, right? Because you need to attract people.
Right.
And if they don't see themselves in your problem or in your solution, they're not going to be interested in it. So
Right.
the way that they're going to identify with that is you target and make them feel like you're talking directly to them because it's a problem they have.
And I think fundamentally here, there's a reminder effect.
Yes.
And I've had people say certain, someone will go, I've heard that before. I've heard this before. Great. How good are you at executing on what it is?
Right.
So I don't care what your knowledge base is. So
Right.
it's just kind of like the statement, people don't buy features, they buy outcomes.
Right.
You can say it to a business owner and then somebody will, I learned that at a trade. Okay, great. So now when I look at your sales presentation
Right.
deck or your stuff online or
Right.
whatever, you are actually trying to sell features.
Right.
But
100%.
yet you tell me intellectually, Cory, I've heard that, we've got to sell the
Right.
solution to the problem. Okay, so why aren't you doing that?
Correct.
Why does your website still suck and not do that?
Because it comes back to the website.
Why is your product?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm
Right.
just
100%.
that's just the most baffling thing to me to
Right.
spend all this energy and effort engaging and then confuse people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why I talk about, look, I'm not going to use bait as a marketing tool for my sales program, but that's why I talk about marketing as bait.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You have to attract them.
Yeah.
And the way you attract a client is to get them to identify with the problem that you've defined
Mm-hmm.
so that they're looking to you for that solution. And if you just give them all the things that you do well and all the things that are features about your product, they're busy thinking about something else because they don't identify with that until you give them the problem that they're struggling with on a daily basis.
Right. So, and that's why it's important because also we're talking about the context of introducing something new.
100%.
So your demo, your psychographics, your demographics, your ideal customer may need to be adjusted.
Yeah.
So like, we're going to plop this into our same branding, plop this into our same messaging, plop this
Right.
in the same thing. That's why it's important to say, okay, great. What product do we want to really solve here?
Right.
And is there a need for that? Because that's how a lot of people get into trouble, particularly when they're on their own. That's why franchising is very popular, right? People
Correct.
want to hedge in the right direction, then start its own situation. So much easier for me to become a Charlie's Cheesesteaks
Right.
brand than Cory's Cheesesteaks, and then try to figure it out on myself.
Right.
Which you can do. I mean, that's how a lot of these. That's how Charlie started, right?
Right.
Charlie had the one shop.
Right.
But again, figuring out what that problem is. So number 2, test the concept with your existing customers first.
Yes.
So that can be surveys, soft launches, previews.
Yeah. Or ask.
Right.
One of the things that is so incredibly valuable is, and I do this a lot when I'm working with clients. If I'm looking to advance something, I'll say, hey, you're one of the best clients that we've got. I'm thinking about this. How does that sound to you? Or can I ask you for advice on something that I'm thinking about doing? What's your perspective on that? What it does is it validates those existing clients, draws them in closer. And then as we've talked about before, like charter memberships or first member benefits for being first members in a new program, you can invite those people in, get their perspective, you validate them as their clients, and you validate their opinion. And so it draws them in closer, and you get perspective on whether or not it's a good idea.
This might be a guy I want to work with.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes to all of that.
Yeah.
So that also gives you the safety net,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
And the runway before making that, go all in situation.
Yeah.
Now you're sitting with, inventory or decisions that you made that now you have to
Right.
live with. So having that test and saying, hey, yes, your best customers, your most recent customers,
Right.
or the ones from your database that you think this would help the biggest,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's the difference. So to me, that's also the difference in just trying to sell an add-on for the sake of it,
Right.
you know?
Well, you talked about, Cory, and I just jumped you out, but you talked about going back into your database.
Mm-hmm.
There are people in your database that are engaging with you, but they didn't buy from you because it just wasn't the right solution at the
Right.
time. If you go back to them and say, hey, we're introducing this part of our business, how does that fit with what you're doing, or how does that solve a problem that you're dealing with now? It allows you to re-engage with them, and maybe, and some of them are going to want to participate with that.
Exactly. Okay, let's get to number 3. We're operating very efficient. This is the new lean efficient
There you go.
podcast. So, 3, create an internal launch before the external one.
Okay.
So get your team excited, get them aligned, because obviously if they're not sold, then your customers won't be either. Now, I want to be clear here. Why are you smiling?
Oh, because
You think you know what I'm going to say?
I don't, but I know it's
okay.
going to be good.
Lon Graham will be back next week. No, I was going to make the distinction because it's very easy. You hear me talk about extremes very often.
Right.
That too many times people will take a position too far to one side
Right.
without consideration. So when I talk about this idea of getting everybody on board, it's not begging your staff or your team to get on board.
Right.
Right? It's involving them, but with the understanding, this is where we're going, though.
Right.
And I think that's a distinction, because I've heard decision makers say things to me like, well, Cory, I'm interested in doing this, but I'm going to need you to, sell the rest of my team. And I'm like, well, last time I checked, this is your name here?
Right.
This is your family's name here?
Right.
So who's running the joint?
Right.
Now, I understand the idea. The idea, of course, is if everybody's on board. But as much as people love collective decision-making,
Right.
and a team of rivals and all of these lovely things,
Yeah.
within your business, though, you can take in opinions.
Right.
But now you still have to take responsibility for that process. So, yes, we want them to get excited.
Right.
We want them to be in line. We want the vision there, because that helps.
Right.
But don't not do an initiative that you truly believe will enhance the value of your business, the revenue of your business,
Right.
the brand reputation or authority of your business,
Right.
simply because you've got some naysayers or some people who don't get it. So at some point, the train leaves the station no matter what.
Well,
When the church say amen.
There you go.
Well, and I think where owners get confused, Cory, based on what you just said, is there's a difference in collective decision-making and collective input. You can get insight and input from the people on your team,
Right.
and then use that information to decide whether or not you want to launch a new product or that specific idea. But once you decide that you're going to launch it, it's no longer collective decision-making. It's you've decided this is what we're going to do. And there are ways that you can get the people in your organization to buy in by getting them involved in the execution of it.
Voice of reason.
Whatever. Now, as a sidebar, before we get to the next one, you were recently referred to in the streets. You were referred to in the streets. Tell everybody. I love the Mosley effect. I love when I assign people names and they stick. Now, give us the context on where you were. Abbreviated, because we don't need the speaker version. That's not a keynote.
This is too
so
much.
yeah, go ahead.
So this is a shout out to Tim Lulis. Tim Lulis is a comedian.
Okay.
And he also teaches a comedy school class associated with Funny Bones throughout the Mid-Atlantic.
Right. That you're a student of.
Well, I took Tim's comedy school class before COVID back in BC, and we graduated. Then COVID hit and the world changed. When we came back, Tim brought me back to host one of his graduations.
The referee deal.
And I'm still involved with some of the things that he does. And recently he does this event for everybody in the class that is how do you handle challenging situations in the audience? And I participate in that because it's a valuable thing. And so we were doing that, and he goes, Lon, just sit back in the back when this goes haywire and just be the voice of reason back there. So, so shout out to Tim Louis, and thanks for listening to our podcast, because he's referenced a couple of things that we've talked about. So shout out to Tim.
That's what I love. Now, where my people need to get busy. Okay. We've got Lon's sister. We've got some childhood friends. My people need to get busy out there. Okay. Just letting you know.
Indeed.
All right. Next one.
Yeah.
Build anticipation. See, this is when you think about the marketing, right?
Right.
Build anticipation with a teaser campaign. Drop hints, behind the scene looks, or countdowns on social to create some curiosity and FOMO.
Right.
We've got an announcement happening at the studio.
Oh, wow.
That you don't know about yet. I have to tell you offline because you're going to fall off your chair. I don't want to announce it. I don't want to announce it yet. Willie H knows what's going on.
Okay.
But this person will be in the studio tomorrow to record promo for the announcement.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to fall off your chair.
I look forward to
what
it.
I tell you. So, Bill, that works. So, but the bottom line is that works. Now, I always laugh with, and I'm sorry to any of my friends, my professional colleagues who listen. Like, I always crack up when people do that, like on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
Big announcement coming.
Right.
Big, like, and it's like, and then, it's like, like they're dropping these nuggets.
Right.
And then it's like, I'm now at this company. I'm
right.
vice president or director of whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, we went through 3 weeks of mystery for that.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's,
big game change coming. I'm now at Amazon in the whatever procurement department.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, just do an update like everybody else does.
That's exactly
I needed 3 weeks of this in my feed.
Right.
Coming soon, 4 days away. 2 days away from my big announcement. Big news.
Well, I think what
I'm heading up grocery at Publix. Head of produce. Shout out to
have
Publix.
mercy.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the value of the pre-launch, the promo, and we'll use your book as an example.
Yeah.
As you were in the process of writing your book and getting it published,
right?
You would talk about my book is coming. You would talk about that, but you were talking about the thing that was coming. You weren't talking about a big secret.
Right.
You promoted what was coming. And I think that's the difference in what you're saying, Cory, is if you're going to launch a new program and you've got a date, just like a new store in town, we talk about franchise, like Pecan Jack's is coming to, let's say, Columbus, Ohio.
Sure.
Pecan Jack's going to Columbus, Ohio. You've got the contract signed. You're building out the store.
Right.
You're going to do a 3-month run up announcing your opening day so that on opening day, you've got a store full of people.
Sure.
That's what you're doing. You're announcing what's coming, not that something's coming.
Well, even literally today, like real time, the one of the supplement companies that I get supplements from, they had teased out their newest thing that was coming, by like showing you the bag, but grayed out, where you couldn't see exactly. And they were teasing that. And it's like today, literally the announcement is like, I'm gonna pull it up in real time, see if I can find it. Maybe I can't find it. There it is. Boom. Just launched the new collagen.
Oh yeah, okay.
So now they're doing nose to tail collagen.
Oh, okay.
Like he worked. So this email before that was like you couldn't see what it was.
You couldn't see the contents.
You knew it was a new bag, but you could, So that was the teaser, and then now they're using scarcity. Like this is real time information here. They're using it, so it's like all our new products, our first batch is limited, and we expect to sell out quickly. So click here to try it while you can.
Right.
So he's creating scarcity to push.
Right.
In that launch. So whether or not he's got 200 kilos of collagen in the warehouse or 20 kilos of collagen in the warehouse, we don't know. But certainly the build up and then the scarcity play feeds into that idea of what we're talking about.
Well,
as a new product launch.
right. Well, we talked about the pre-sale in one of our last episodes is you pre-sell so that you can control your inventory costs. And,
Sure.
we've got a fixed amount. That's how you create your scarcity. So yeah, that's awesome.
Next up, use your email list like a VIP club. Offer early access or exclusive bonuses to your email subscribers to reward loyalty and also drive initial momentum.
Yes.
So, we will do something like this at Pecan Jacks relative to new flavors.
Okay.
So we'll go to our, we have the Pecan Jacks insiders.
Right.
So we'll go to them and say, hey, we've got a new XYZ.
Right.
And, be the first to take advantage of it or get it or pre-order it, that type of thing. And then take that feedback.
Right. Exactly.
Before we go mass production or before we roll that out to franchisees or that type of thing.
Right. And again, you're bringing your current existing clients closer. You're also, as you talked about before, as you use your email list, you're also drawing in clients that may be on the fringe.
Right.
And now that you draw them in a little bit closer, and maybe this is the thing that gets them to engage and buy from you.
I like it. Now, using your Willie H. co-signing, co-signing information. No nothing to go along with it. You're gonna have to record your tell me some indeed. So maybe you need to record a series of things and incorporate it in there.
Yay.
Yeah. Now, it's like asking. If I gotta ask for it, it dilutes the value of it.
We're still working through something.
Can a brother get a button? We're still working on something. Didn't you say we're at 80 episodes?
Well, I said we're going to get Rice Krispies.
Work with me.
Said 80
Willie H,
episodes.
how many episodes is this? 74. This is the 74th? Yeah, so this is the 74th. Oof.
That's why I said 80.
100 is so far away. When you're dropping an episode a week.
Yeah, that's
30 weeks.
Right.
20. That's 20.
Right.
That's actually a lot of weeks away.
We'll have reason to give thanks at Thanksgiving for our 100th
I
episode.
think we're going double time. I think we're gonna. They really stop dropping 5 a week to get to it. What's your schedule?
Well, let's fire bullets and then cannonballs. Let's do 2 a week before we get to 5.
Fire, you don't want to just burn the ships. Let's just commit. Leap and grow your wings on the way down. That's what the motivational speakers tell us, right? Leap and grow your wings on the way down.
100%.
Okay. All right. Next up, lead with value, not price. Emphasize transformation.
Correct.
Results
Right.
and ROI instead of starting with a discount.
Yes.
So, and again, there's multiple sides of the coin, right?
Right.
So, the advantage of the discount piece is cash flow. Right. The first 100 people save 50%.
Right.
So you can get cash flow going, get the product out the door into people's hands. So, but this is an alternative way, because I can guarantee you right here, what you saw in that email about the collagen was not a discount. It was, you might be lucky. If you don't buy now, you might be lucky. We might run out of the batch. Right. So again, that's how that philosophy, to me, the value proposition works. So price is not a bad idea. If you want a discount for your first set of whatever, really depends on your objectives. But don't believe that that's the only way to successfully launch or introduce a new product.
Yes. If you're selling on price, then you're decreasing or diminishing the value of what you're launching. What you do is exactly what you said, Cory. You sell on value. This is why this is good for you. Because nobody's going to buy stuff at the junkyard at 50% off.
Right.
It's still junk.
Right.
50% off everything at the junkyard.
Right.
Well, unless you need it.
Did I need that window module?
Right. Or that whatever, right?
It never hurts to have a few spare carburetors laying around in the house just in case your carburetor goes out.
100%. And so the point of it is sell the value, sell why you're launching this, why it matters.
Sure.
Sell the problem that you're solving, and then if you want to use a pricing incentive to reward your best customers, to reward early adopters, to get people moving, then you can use that.
Well, and I love going back. I mean, this is very timely. I hadn't planned on going back to this reference, but I love that because in this in the launch email
Right.
is what you're talking about. So, because like they introduced collagen, they're not the collagen has been around. I mean, there's a million
Right.
places that sell collagen.
Right.
So his point was, let me share with you why we did our own. Because most people were using cheaper ingredients, conventional bovine hide,
Right.
which, if you're in the collagen world, this makes sense to you, right? Essentially a cheap byproduct of the leather industry.
Yeah.
Like, so imagine thinking that I'm drinking, so the collagen I've been getting from wherever the grocery store
Right.
is what happens after my coat gets finished,
Right. That's these leftovers.
after my
right.
leather bomber
Right.
is
Leftovers.
done.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That bad.
yeah. Willie, you think LG had like an 8-ball jacket back in the day? Think he had a leather hat, couple leather hats when he was on them streets out there, available out there on the streets. So he's like, then the biggest issue is you're not even getting all the 3 types of collagen.
Mm.
It's not terrible, but if you've been missing out on full spectrum of collagen,
Right.
that's what your body needs. It's a one-dimensional solution to a multi-system problem. So again, he's now shaping how he's
Right.
separating and why theirs is better
Right.
and what the advantages are to your health and wellness and how much valuable it is. On your eyesight, on your
Okay.
joints, on
Right.
your cartilage, and then the things that they've done to do it. So I mean, this is just a great example of a launch, and I guarantee you, he's his Shopify is going bing bing bong right now with the launch.
Well, and we do it, and I don't even know the name of it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're not paying us, so I'm just
Right.
making the point.
no, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about that.
Oh,
But
oh.
I'm going to give you a different example with
Okay.
pet food. Right?
Yeah.
There's that one commercial that talks about pet food in the refrigerator,
Mhm.
and they're not talking about the price of the pet food. They're talking about
They
the
can't,
value
'cause
that
it's so expensive.
Right, but it's fresh food, like
Yeah.
you're feeding yourself,
Mhm.
you're feeding your pet, you're feeding your dog, and then they're kicking people out because they don't appreciate the value. of
Kibble
it.
is burnt.
Right. So it's same thing. They're
Let me
not.
tell you something right now.
Yeah.
I had dogs my entire life.
Okay.
Those dogs live just as long as dogs live today. And I'm going to tell you, my mother, bless her heart, you were in the survivor's camp.
Right.
Those dogs survived and thrived despite. I can't imagine. I feel that the silliness I feel every day when I feed my dogs organic carrots and organic strawberries as snacks
Right.
and grass-fed beef, grass-fed organic beef
Right.
food. And I think about all the dogs I had in my life that still lived to be 12, 13, 14 years old
Right.
that lived on Alpo
Right.
and lived on Yukonuba and lived on all these things. And now it's like, you can't feed your dog that.
Right. That at that point, Purina was like Perry's, right?
Correct.
It was like
and
the
lived on
Perry's
Purina. Milk bone. Lived off milk bone.
bone dog food,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Those dogs, Damien got hit by a car, but Damien and Gizmo and several of these dogs
Right.
that survived and thrived
Right.
for years without chondroitin
Right.
and CoQ10.
Right. But now that we have
I'm just
that,
making a point.
now that we have that,
Yeah,
market what the difference.
sure.
Market
All right, let's
the
go to the
magic.
next one.
But, yeah, let's do
I'm mad now.
it.
Organic strawberry. And then they're choosy. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's all you got today? Like, you know what a strawberry costs? Dog. You don't have no job. You don't do and my dogs don't even like they deal with me at their leisure.
Right. Oh,
Like
yeah.
they're doing me a favor.
Right.
Like they're allowing me to pet them.
Right.
That should be against the law.
Yeah. I thought they're supposed to like bring down my blood pressure. Isn't dogs supposed to do that? Like regulate your blood pressure and
Right.
kind of bring calmness to you.
They do that for your wife.
Yeah. 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 And then got the nerve.
Right.
I could see them right now taking the spitting it out. This ain't organic. I bet you they know the difference.
Of course they do.
It's pesticides. Blah.
What's next?
All right. What are you trying to take me for going on my rat?
We'll be here till Friday if we keep this up.
And listen, I'll be the first one jumping in the casket when they go on to glory, go on to the Rainbow Bridge. I'll be the first one they're crying about them. All right. So next one is incorporate social proof immediately.
Yes.
Testimonials, if you're doing this as like a beta launch, you want beta feedback.
Right.
What are the case studies? Even during the launch to build really that credibility.
Right.
So even if you're like, I would vision like even if I had a storefront and we were doing food services, like I could see this at Pecan Jack's,
right.
capturing reaction.
Right.
Hey, you want to try our new XYZ?
Right.
Capture the reaction.
Yeah.
Now, if the reaction is terrible, that ain't making it to social media.
Right.
But if they're like, oh wow, I love these flavors. This is great. Like you're getting that instant reaction.
Right.
And the big boys used to do this very well, right? When they used to do the blind taste test.
Right.
Did you know you were tasting Coke? Did you know the difference in Coke or Pepsi? Or did you know that, this has no sugar in it and it tastes so good? Now, it's got 100 other chemicals that will kill you, but good news, we got the sugar out of it. We got the thing that comes out of the ground that is grown. We took that out.
Right.
And we had Gregory and his team of 12 scientists in the lab create a way to take the sugar out, but to still make it taste sweet.
Tastes like sugar.
Through the power of chemical enhancement.
Artificial flavors.
Yeah. Oh, Cory, that sugar will kill you. Let me have a Diet Coke.
Well, and to your point, so that's where, some of the pre-launch and the promo and all of that is you get people excited about it. And then when they do try it and they do want to give you some, they do want to promote it. They do want to say how good it was because they were excited about getting it. And then you turn to those people. And this is where the value of bringing in some of your existing clients and doing that special, I always call it charter membership because that's like the early adopters in a new program, but bringing those existing clients in and letting them be the voice and face because they're already doing business with you. They want to promote you because the more successful you are, the more business they can do with you and the longer you stick around.
Maybe this guy can help me.
Yeah, I like that. No, I got thrown off. I got a text from my mother.
Oh, well, I was trying to buy you a minute.
Text from my mother. She's our TV's not working.
Oh no!
So in the middle of my podcast.
Sure. Oh no! Right.
Shout out to my mom.
Yeah.
What a blessing. So
thanks for listening, Mom.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, let's knock a couple of these out. Host a live demo or kickoff event.
Yep.
Also bundle it for maximum. I'm going to give you the last four, and then we'll close out. But so host a live demo or kickoff event. Now that could be in person, virtual. Gives them a way to connect emotionally to the product or service. You see this with even like the car companies that now are in the malls, like some of the electric brands and some of kind of the smaller nimble brands. You now can go in the mall to see a demonstration of the product or service. You can bundle it for again maximum perceived value. So pair the new offering with something familiar or desirable to reduce buyer friction, but increase the cart size.
Yeah.
So would you like to add on and try our new product, with that?
Yeah.
You know what pairs great with XX?
Right.
Put this sauce on your ice cream.
Right.
Because that goes great. Like that kind of idea.
Well, I think of, in terms of you go to a steakhouse, you can get a steak. You can get a steak with sauce, or you can get a steak Oscar, a little bit of crab, and maybe even a little bit of sauce.
And many times that tier is based on who's paying.
100%. That's exactly right.
And you better believe it.
I'm paying. Oh, I'll have the chicken.
Who's getting the check? I'll have the chicken, boneless and skinless.
You're buying tonight? You guys got that tomahawk ribeye that you had there last week?
That's exactly
years ago in my lack of maturity days, I had a buddy of mine, and now our goal going out was to see if we can break the other person in terms of what we were ordering.
We had a guy when I was working in surgical sales. We had a guy that was a support person for our in operating room imaging and all the technology that you use in surgery. And this guy was great. And we'd have team meetings or events, and we went out one night, and this guy liked to eat, and because he was a support person, he wasn't making the same type of money that the successful salespeople were. So we went out to eat one night at this great crab house up near Baltimore, because the company I was headquartered in Baltimore. So we went out, and he ordered 2 big old crab cakes to go. He's like, because somebody else is paying for it. This is going to be
I had
dinner
a client
tomorrow.
order 2 lunches.
Did you?
Took him to lunch. He ordered a lunch to go. I was astonished. Now, this guy was $450.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
And he's no longer with us.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I always remember that.
Right.
That's when you bring out words like unmitigated gall.
Right.
This guy had the unmitigated gall
Right.
to order a second lunch to go.
Right.
Like I was here to be responsible for his dinner or afternoon snack.
Right. That was probably a snack based on what you just said.
Unmitigated gall. I saved that one for circumstances, for circumstances like that. What did our teacher Willie H. say? Rapscallion. Like that's when you pull out all those weird words that you want to pull out to just. You got to put some extra stank on.
You got to put some
the
sauce
disgust that you have on it. All right, here are the last 2.
Let's go.
1, have a clear call to action and a limited time offer.
Yeah.
So guide them on what to do next and make it easy to say yes.
Correct.
With urgency and clarity.
Right. Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Nope.
I'll give you the final one.
Yeah.
Then the final one is follow up with an after the launch nurture plan. So keep customers engaged with tips, usage guides, or onboarding content to maximize satisfaction and long-term adoption.
Right.
One of the things we used to do with Pecan Jacks with our sauces is we would put out some content on like what's the best thing to pair with the sauce.
Yeah.
So you want the limoncello sauce, you want to drip that on some vanilla ice cream.
Right.
Or we would do beer pairings with our brittle.
Oh, wow.
And suggest like this type of IPA or like a Stella or a darker or whatever.
Yeah.
Look at me talking beer right there.
Yeah, look at you. You go ahead.
So, but it was like, hey, ways that I didn't even consider.
Right.
Oh, you mean should be having this with beer? Okay, I never thought about that. Oh, let me order a few more bags to try it.
Right.
So that became part of, like that, not recipe idea, but the pairings to make people consider things in a different way.
Yeah, and I think, we combine a couple of things we've talked about today. That's a great way to pair testimonials with new ideas and new solutions. You get clients or you get some of your early adopters to try it,
right, and
say, hey, we tried it this way, or we did that. And then they use that as a testimonial. And now you can go back and say, hey, some of our newest clients or some of our early adopters or some of the people that have bought this have tried this and have described how good it is. Here's an opportunity for you to try it in a different way. And it expands the usage. It also expands, investment and purchase and engagement.
I love it. All right. I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah.
Because I've got to go figure out my mother's TV. Doesn't work in the middle of my workday.
Mom, by the time you hear this, we're excited for this new TV for you.
Wait, no. This is an app problem. Nobody's getting a new TV. LG 007.
Well, if the TV works because you fixed the app, then it's like having a new TV.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, there's a good way to spin it. Good old spin doctor LG. That's his name. Voice of reason. Spin doctor. Put some spin on it, Lon. Willie H. have to capture that one. Yeah. All right, we're getting out of here. Listen, if you don't have your copy of Position for Growth, you need to go get it now in book form. And then when I get the Audible done, you can listen to it again. Or you can do like Willie H. What's the guy's name? Hormozi, Alex Hormozi. Hormozi says that Hormozi.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, no.
I know.
He says that his maximum absorption of information is he listens to the audiobook while he's reading the book. Okay. Because his attention is always, challenged. Yeah. So that's a way to get the focus. Because even when you're reading, and this happens to me all the time when I'm reading, I'm still thinking about other things. So 100%. Much harder to do that if you're reading and listening as you go. The distractions are limited, and that was I think a phenomenal technique or strategy, particularly in the ADHD community.
100%.
So Yeah, position for growth. Order on Amazon. You can still go to CoryMosley.com. We have some inventory left. Not for long. Scarcity. But again, it's available on Amazon.
Correct.
So, they'll print those as many as people continue to buy them. They'll keep printing them. So
Correct.
I encourage you to pick that up. And I will tease, speaking of teasers,
Okay.
I will tease the other thing that we got done. It was a lightning round over here last week. We have also completed the Position for Growth course.
Oh, congratulations.
So we have a full 9-module course that is based on the concepts in the book that goes deeper, and we'll have checklists and action plans and scorecards, and certificates and everything in our in our interactive platform. So we are a few weeks out from that. I'll be talking about that more. But we're making it super. I'm not announcing pricing yet, but we're making it super affordable because we really want as many business owners as possible to take advantage of the concepts and the strategies. So, Cory, I'm not a reader. All right. In a couple weeks, you'll have the option to do virtual learning and really and go through our online testing, training, and certification system to still take advantage of the techniques and strategies.
Yeah. Well, and that's, creating as many touch points as possible, right? Making it accessible, both one in video format, taking advantage of this fabulous studio, and two, making it accessible from a price obtainable standpoint.
The future belongs to the positioned.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, LG, hit us with your goodbye and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back. And next time, bring a friend.
That's right. Bring a friend, multiple friends. There's some songs that talk about friends. I think it's a different context though. But we're going to get on out of here. Willie H is perplexed. But I don't know if that takes too much. But we like to get him excited. I like to get him excited over there.
Get him riled up.
Yeah, we want to get that heart rate up to 81 beats per minute over there with some exciting things. All right, we're getting out of here. This has been another edition of the Grow Business Podcast. On behalf of myself, LG007 Longgram, and Willie H, we appreciate having you, and we will see you next time. Willie H, take us out.
If they
you're the one
if they
damaging knuckles.
If they buy, shout out to Tim Lewis. If they buy it on Amazon, you can always send them a letter thanking them for, instead of signing
nice
it, you get a nice letter, not just
Send
any
them
letter,
nice
a nice letter.
Yeah,
that's exactly
yeah.
right.
Why send commission when you can send a nice letter?
Exactly.
We love referrals here, and we send you nice letters. I'm confused of what's a not nice letter. What's the distinctive difference between a nice letter and a letter?
You know what?
I've never seen anybody get excited talking about sending a letter than I did the individual that shall remain nameless that we're talking about. But nice letter.
Yeah, well, it's a thought that counts.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Whoever they is.
Another one down. Yeah, who's they? Another one down. Thank you, my friend.
Appreciate it.
All
It's
right.
always fun. Good times. Thanks.